Do you do much Zwifting, mate?
Yeah, nah, mate. It's too boring. Yeah, I've got a trainer. Never use it though.
I don't see how this would make me faster.
If that sounds like you or one of your mates, then keep watching to learn how to make your Zwifting a little bit more exciting. I know, right? What was wrong with that last girl? Yeah, AI just doesn't understand bikes. I get a lot of questions about indoor training in Zwift. People either seem to be on the fence about it, or they have a trainer and they don't really know what to do with it, or they don't find it very engaging. Let's look at getting started and the 3 things that I find most valuable on the platform. Okay, before you get started, you're going to have to make sure you have an indoor trainer. There are 2 major types here. You can have an A-frame trainer like this Wahoo Kicker Core. This is what I started out on. It's probably the cheapest entry point and it's perfect for getting started. Alternatively, you can have a full bike style trainer like this Wahoo Kicker bike. I made the upgrade a little while back and haven't looked back since. Don't forget your hydration as well as a towel. You're going to need both of those things. Oh, and definitely a fan. You won't survive without a fan. Probably also worth considering headphones, phone, a remote for your Zwift, and some rewards for good performance. When you get started inside of Zwift, it's important that you have a sense of your FTP. This is your functional threshold power, or a measure of how much power you can output over the course of 20 minutes to an hour. This is important inside of Zwift because all of the workouts and race categorization is going to be based around this number. If this concept is new to you or you don't have an idea of what your FTP is, don't worry. Zwift will start calculating this in the background once you start riding in the app. Alternatively, if you would like a fast track to finding your FTP, you can do what's called a ramp test inside of Zwift. This is a quick but high intensity test that will determine your FTP in the matter of about 20 minutes. Okay, first things first, let's get connected. Your trainer is going to be your power source, so I'm going to select my kicker bike here. It will also provide the resistance and cadence, and in the case of a kicker bike, it also has controls, but that's not something you have to worry about if you don't have that. Heart rate monitor is not required, but I would definitely recommend it. If you haven't had much experience with the Zwift interface, let me give you a quick overview so you know what you're looking at. In the top right hand corner are your watts, your cadence, and your beats per minute. The center section is an extension of this, giving you your speed, the kilometers you've traveled, the elevation you've done, and how long you've been riding for. The bottom half of this section varies based on the type of activity you're doing. In the top right hand corner you have the mini map. This gives you a sense of what's coming. It shows you when the climbs are going to be, when the sprint sections are going to be, but most importantly shows you the current gradient that you're riding. Below that on the right is a list of all of the riders who are in the activity that you're doing. This is an open world ride, so we can see all riders who are on this particular world. If you look more closely at an individual rider, you'll see their name, where they're from, how far before or behind you that they are, and their current watts per kilo. This becomes quite relevant in a race setting, but more on that later. Firstly, let me load up into a pace partner. Zwift rebranded them to be called Robopacers, but the name never really caught on. There's a whole lot of them, and over time, you'll get to know which one's going to best suit any given ride. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is riding with a pace partner. So a pace partner is basically a robot inside of the game that's programmed to set a constant pace. There are a number of pace partners that you can choose from, and they all relate to the categories that exist inside of Zwift. The pace partners have names so that they're easy to identify. This is a category B pace partner. His name is Jacques. He rides at around about 3.2, 3.3 watts per kilo. He goes a little bit harder when he's doing a climb and can go a little bit softer when he's going downhill. My recommendation for pace partners is this is a perfect way of getting in zone 2 training. Once you've got a bit of a handle on your heart rate zones, you can find a pace partner that's appropriate for keeping you in that zone. One of the great things about it is, though, you usually have company when you do a pace partner like this. A lot of people in the platform gravitate because it's easy, means you don't have to concentrate too hard. It's the kind of thing that you can do with maybe music in, or a podcast playing, or even your favorite YouTuber. Another suggestion when you're riding with a pace partner is to engage in a bit of banter. Having the big group with you means you can put some messages out there and get a feeling from the people around you. What's going on? Have a bit of a chat. Chatting's pretty easy inside of the game. So any messages that get sent to you, they're going to appear on your screen. So you don't have to look away. You can just keep concentrating on the ride. You can get messages that are just broadcast like a chat room. They come up in white. People can also direct message you. These ones come through in orange, so you know that they're just for you. Being able to talk back to the group, the easiest way, from my perspective, of doing this is just via your phone. So there's a Zwift companion app that will automatically connect into your ride once you've started one and allow you to chat to the people that are in the game and around you. One of the things that I do like about the pace partners is it does feel a little bit more like you're riding outside with the group. Unlike a structured workout where you're on erg mode probably, and like the speed and the resistance is controlled for you to keep you in particular zones, you're free riding, which means you need to use your gears. You need to try and work on maintaining the pace. It is possible to get dropped with a pace partner if you're not able to maintain the pace. If at any point you do fall off the back and you need to get back with the group, or you maybe decide that you want to up the tempo or lay off the tempo a little bit, you can change your pace partner using the teleport feature. Let me show you how that works. So you just slide up your menu here, and there's this little thing that's like 2 dots with a line in between them. It says teleport. When you select on here, it opens up and it shows you all of the other pace partners that are around you. So you can see here I can go up into the category A riders, or I could go back down into the category C partners. You can see what average watts per kilo they're doing, how many people are in the group, and how much elevation is on their route. So let's say, for instance, I was feeling like I wanted to push a little bit harder. I can jump from Jacques over to Genie. My ride continues. My kilometers keep counting. It's all considered the same ride. And with new riders at a new pace. Although if you do find your mind drifting a little bit whilst you're riding, there are often segments along your route, sprint segments, climb segments, even with the pace partners. If you feel like it, give it a little bit of a squeeze. If you can manage to get the best time for the day, it'll put you in a jersey. I just grabbed myself a sprinter's jersey. Okay, so when you're done, it's pretty easy. Pace partners never end. They just go around and around and around, so you can ride with them for as long as you like. They do oddly go on break sometimes. I guess they struck a really good deal with the robot union.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
But when you're done, I've just hit 40 kilometers on this. Simply press your menu button, hit menu, and your ride. It'll give you a quick race report or ride report, show you how far you went, your power, your heart rate through the session. One of the great things about Zwift is it is fully integrated with all of the applications you use in your cycling ecosystem. Most importantly, connected up to Strava. We all know if it's not on Strava, it never happened. I do only give this a 2 out of 5 on the excitement scale. It's a step up from just riding on your own inside of the platform. The added bonus of having a little bit of company and the ability to achieve some zone 2 and get some miles done in a fairly rapid rate is worth it. Okay, so the next more interesting thing that you can do on Zwift is structured workouts. There's a heap of different ways you can go about doing this. Zwift has a lot of great inbuilt workouts that you can use. You can even add them into programs if you're looking to do them over a longer period of time. My favorite way of approaching it is connecting in third-party software like Training Peaks, where you can bring your own training program and have Zwift interpret it and serve those workouts up to you. Let me show you how to get started with an inbuilt Zwift workout to give you a sense of how it works inside of the platform. So from the home, you just navigate over to Workouts, and there's a whole lot of collections that you can choose from. I'm going to grab something from the new workout section today, just to illustrate what they look like. This one here is called Elevate and Escalate. It tells you how long it goes for, 35 minutes. It gives you a fire rating. It's kind of like a TSS score. It's about how hard the workout is going to be. So I'm going to grab this first one. It'll give you a little bit of extra information. It'll tell you the actual TSS, and it'll show you kind of the power zones that you're going to be working on in that workout. I'm going to hit Start Ride. You then just choose where you want to do your ride. So you can choose anywhere inside of the Zwift virtual ecosystem to do your ride. So I'll just grab something flat. Let's say flat route, start workout. The beauty is it's going to prompt you into the workout, right? It's going to tell you what it's all about. It's going to give you instructions, whether or not it's different power zones, different heart rate zones. Some workouts even tell you what kind of cadence you need to ride at for the particular sections. Down the left-hand side shows you all of the different segments of the workout to give you a sense of what's coming up, and it shows you your progress and your success as you move your way through them. You'll notice that the center section changes out to be all about a workout. So here it's showing you the duration of the particular segment of the workout that you're working on and how you're performing against what it's telling you need to be doing. You can see there are other riders around. This is nice just from a visual and a social perspective. You can chat and interact with them, but largely they won't have an impact on your workout. You won't draw a draft from them, although they can draw a draft from you. Some people will say that structured workouts are not for everyone, but to that I would say that not every structured workout is for everyone. And what I mean by that is that you need to find the kind of structured work that works for you. There are some tried and true methods for structured training, FTP blocks, sweet spot blocks, building, just getting longer on those blocks. This is well proven to build you up, but not everybody enjoys that type of riding. My tips for structured training is you should be working at a level that's hard enough that you don't get distracted. If the level's not high enough, you'll get bored and you're really not doing the work that you need to be doing. The other one is you need to decide whether or not going into the cave, suffering the pain, doing deep reaching hard sessions like 20-minute FTP blocks is something that motivates you, or are you better suited at something that has a lot more variability? There are certain workouts that will simulate a race format, for instance, where you're kind of attacking and then you're getting in someone's wheel and you're recovering a little bit. These can be a lot better for those types of people. Although a lot of coaches might argue that cadence and cadence drills are important, I tend to opt for workouts that don't include set cadence thresholds. I find it distracting. If I were you and you don't absolutely need it, I'd find workouts that don't have this. You can choose to do your workouts with erg mode on. This means that your trainer and Zwift will control the resistance and the cadence in your ride to keep you in your power zones. Alternatively, you can turn erg mode off. When erg mode's off, you are responsible for keeping the power in the zones. This means that you can spin too soft, too hard, right? It's really teaching you to control the pedals. I know a lot of riders who come from outdoors prefer to have it off. Me, personally, I prefer to ride with erg mode on. It allows me to zone out a little bit, but it also keeps me accountable. There's no opportunity for me to pop under and be outside of my zone. It's always on. For me, that's what makes structured work on Zwift fun. It's the accountability and the fact that I know and I'm pushing my body, and I'm going to be going further and getting faster by doing these workouts. Okay, so I'm moving into the pointy end of this workout now. It's pushed me into the last effort, 5 minutes in and around my FTP. You can see the color of the segments and how I'm contributing to them down below. Green is tempo or zone 3. Yellow means I'm in zone 4 or nearing FTP. Any segments that are in the red are in zone 5, typically over FTP. You can tell I'm not in zone 2 anymore. I'm sweating, I'm panting. It's hard to hold a conversation under this amount of work. This is where the workouts really bite. And if you ask me, this is something I don't get out on the road. Definitely call these a 4 on the excitometer. All right. Workouts generally end with a cool down. Definitely recommend doing them. Spin some of that lactic acid out of the legs. Don't be like my wife who always gets caught skipping them. Okay, so the third type of riding I want to talk about is racing on Zwift. There is a huge diversity of racing that you can do on site on this platform. There's casual racing and there's more formal racing. What I'm going to do here today is what's called a Zwift monthly racing event. Every month they have a new series. They have 4 different races in the month, 1 per week. They run about every hour. So around the clock, you can jump in a race. Whoever has joined into that race, you're going to race against. They do keep a tally of an overall kind of GC of the series, but that's not terribly important. Very single serving events. They're designed to work kind of like a workout. So you've got enough time to get a little warm up, then you do your race, then there's time for a cool down, all supposed to be able to be fit into about an hour. It uses the categorization system that I mentioned before, so it's pretty important to kind of get your Zwift category dialed. I'm doing a category B race today, so we'll see how that goes. Similar to the pace partner, it's going to be around about 3.5 watts per kilo, up to 4 watts per kilo pace. The companion app is a fantastic way of finding these events and registering yourself for them. Once you've registered for an event, it's pretty easy. It appears on your home screen. You can navigate to it like this, and it's going to drop you in the pens. This type of racing format might seem intimidating to people at first, but I assure you it's not. There are some people who take it very seriously, but there's also a lot of people here who are just here for a bit of fun. Don't hesitate. Jump in, give it a go. See how it works out for you. On the excitometer, I would say that racing is easily a 5. It's a very exciting format. Good to test yourself out. Good to see how your performance is really going. And good to kind of pit yourself against similar quality riders or similar ability riders. Because of how the Zwift platform works, you do have to think a little bit about racecraft when you're going in these events. Drag is critical. If you have the elastic snapped and you get dropped, then you're not going to get the advantage of being pulled by the rider in front. So you do have to be watchful of moves, and this kind of means that you need to have to be a little bit more dialed in to the UI and the different things that are going on there. You'll notice a few more additions to the UI. So in that center box, really hones in on the duration of the race. so you know at all times how long is left to go. Over on the right, all of a sudden, you'll notice instead of just being everybody in the world, it's only the people in the race. And now it's ranked. It's the placing system. The rest remains largely the same, but you kind of want to have half an eyeball on the people in the race's watts per kilo, especially those behind you. As races come to a close, timing that perfect move can mean the difference between winning or a podium or not finishing in the top at all. Now, if you're used to outdoor racing, this is a great way to simulate that race style experience. Sure, it doesn't have the same complexity with bike handling and maneuvering around, but it does give you the need to be watching for moves, strategically riding, and being able to respond to attacks. If you're not quite up to the level of racing outdoors yet, it's a great entry point for that. And it comes without the risk of crashing, which I don't know about you, but for those moderate folk out there like me, I can't really afford to be laid up in hospital from a bike crash. Something racing will train that a lot of outdoor riding doesn't normally do for you is that explosive 1 minute power and also a sprint. A lot of these shorter course races, that's how they finish. The last kilometer is the most decisive part of the race. Can you hold 1 minute, 1 or 2 watts per kilo above your FTP, and then lift again into a sprint for the last 15 seconds? That's what you're testing in a race like this one. Oh, yeah, that's a win. Oh, top of zone 5 though. It's how you long sprint to victory. I can tell you now, I don't get that kind of workout outdoors. Now you'll get a summary of your results just here. If you go into the companion app, you can get a more detailed summary of the event results. But then if you want the really detailed results, there's an off-platform tool called Zwift Power. It's actually owned by Zwift, but it gives you a more enhanced racing readout. You'll see the competition, you'll see the power breakdowns. If you start getting into it, I definitely recommend signing up over there. Oh, okay, I gotta cool down. If you wanna watch this race in full, you can check it out just up here.
Okay folks, that's a wrap. Those are my 3 favorite things to do on Zwift. Social riding or pace partners, structured training, and racing. I really hope to see you on there soon. If you see me, send a message and say hello. Over the next month, I'll be doing some monthly racing in Category B. Really hope to see you in the pens. Other than that, until next time, see ya!